Hello and welcome. My name is Preacher, and today, my friends, we have something a little different. Now, y'all don't know this, but behind the scenes, I have tried many a times to put together a more professional, edited, skill up style review, you know what I mean? And it just hasn't quite worked out. Not only am I not particularly talented at that sort of thing, but also I am lazy as fuck. And I always end up giving up at the right before the very end, pretty much, right before you push publish. So and in that, I think that I need something more like this, where I can just get to you guys my opinions on a game I've played. So I want to talk to you guys about my general impressions of Marathon. Now, this is definitely coming out of left field for this channel because nothing on this channel has said Marathon for sure, right? And it's because I didn't particularly give a fuck. Like, let me tell you quickly, because this seems to be where most of the reviews for Marathon have started, the ones that have come out. And, I think it's an important place to start. What is your history with Bungie? Because Bungie is a particular developer. And depending on your history with them, your opinion of their games can feel very, very different. So my history with Bungie is I played Halo back in the day, not on my own 360 until much later, but at my boys' house, you know what I mean, here and there. Halo was huge in the early 2000s, so, you played some if you grew up in the early 2000s, chances is you played some motherfucking Halo at some point, you know what I mean? I used to play it. My cousin was so good at it. Shout out to Mike, you know what I mean? Motherfucker was a Slayer from way back, so I played it. It was fun. Never anything I was hugely into. At the time, I'm watching a ton of anime and playing fighting games. So I'm not particularly worried about Halo. But, Halo 1, 2, and 3, I've played all sporadically. I owned Halo 4. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Not so much the story, but the multiplayer with the boys was great. And then I fell off of Halo. Halo wasn't a big franchise for me. I enjoyed it. I always recognize the gunplay is fantastic. That's one thing you can't say nothing about Bungie. That gunplay is tight, boy. Tight. And spoiler, that carries through to today. But they weren't done there, in an extremely risky move, and in a move that I don't know if even now, decades removed, I don't know if we could really say this move really panned out, but they leave Xbox and create Destiny. Now, for all that Destiny isn't, it is certainly a trailblazer. You know what I mean? It is. And, I didn't play early Destiny at all. Didn't give a fuck. But I played Taken King crazy with the boys. You know what I mean? Loved Taken King. Still love Taken King. Such a great expansion. And I think I played Destiny 1 for a good while after that. I have at least like 100 hours in Destiny 1. Bought Destiny 2 on release, and that is one of my most regretted game purchases of all time. It's like Fallout 4 on the very bottom, and then molding on top is Destiny 2. It's so fucking bad. I really hated it when it first came out. There was nothing to do. You beat the campaign and the campaign was dope, and then there was nothing to do. Insane. Just insane. I know, for others it got better, and I guess it ended well in the end, but me and all my boys fell off Destiny 2. You know what I mean? So my personal history with Bungie is almost as tumultuous as their history as a whole. You know what I mean? So when I seen Marathon, the aesthetic didn't exactly grab me necessarily. It was unique. It was certainly unique, but it seemed a bit busy to me. It definitely looked cool, but not super sold on it. Cool, but certainly not super sold, and it did look a little busy. So, and then it comes out they stole it. And then it came out, they stole it, and I'm like, brother, you know what I mean? Oh, and how could we forget? Sony goes ahead and buys them in what is unquestionably the worst move Sony has made in the last like 6 years. Why? Even worse than Concord. 100% worse than Concord. Why would you buy Bungie? Why the fuck would you buy Bungie? That makes no sense. Bungie was never doing good. That was never a secret. I remember when Bungie left Xbox, went under Activision, these niggas wasn't doing good then. Niggas knew that. I don't know, man. I should have went for a job in the games industry because I gotta save these niggas $3 billion. Why the fuck would you buy fucking Bungie of all the people? Unbelievable. So that's niggas say I don't criticize PlayStation. I got words. I got words. These motherfuckers is insane. $3 billion. And to be fair, they did it to keep like the actual developers of Bungie in. They didn't just want people flooding out once they got, you know what I mean, the license and all that, or you know, and they didn't want to be stuck with just the name Bungie, pretty much. And I think that's a smart move as far as keeping developers, but of all the developers you keep Bungie? That doesn't make sense. But they do it, and now, you know, you have that kind of big corporation overhead on you. You know what I mean? Sony's gonna want their money. You seen what they did to Concord. They're not playing that shit with the live service jump offs. They are not playing that shit at all. So, you know, I'm not really trusting Sony's stewardship of Marathon when I'm looking at it from the outside, you know, and that's another point we'll certainly talk about. But all of that to say, we get up to Marathon and specifically the last state of play, which was an outstanding state of play, which this debuted at, by the way. Well, not debuted at, but had a slot in, so fire, you know what I mean? But I played the Server Slam. I think the Server Slam was a great idea because I think the worst thing that happened to Concord was people didn't get a chance to actually play it and form an opinion themselves. You were charging people $40 to form their opinion. That's not the right move. And that's the same spot Marathon was in. And people played the Server Slam. They put out the Server Slam and they put it out for a while. A good couple days, you could just jump into Marathon and play for free whenever you wanted. Outstanding. That's smart. I think I mentioned on this channel before, that's PlayStation learning. You know what I mean? And it was kind of a double-edged sword, though, at the same time, because people weren't super enthused on the Server Slam. Neither was I. You know what I mean? I played it. It was enough to get me curious, but without, you know, so much. There was a lot that the Server Slam kind of locked down. They showed you kind of the play loop, not necessarily the progression loop. And I guess I've been, you know, insinuating it the whole time, but yeah, no, Marathon definitely hits, and where it starts to hit is that progression loop that wasn't in the Server Slam. So Server Slam comes out, you know what I mean, comes and goes, but I figure I buy it, I play it, and I have not been able to stop playing it. I'm an OG Hunt guy. When I seen Arc Raiders blow up, like it hit me like a wet towel, like a you know what I mean, like a not even a wet towel, like a freshly dried towel, just like fluff. Like I couldn't even feel it. Like I just don't care. You know, I cannot care less about Arc Raiders for some reason. Something about the aesthetic, something about it is just not hitting me at all. And I hate that all the Marathon, you know, videos talk about Arc Raiders, but I just have to say that to say, you know what I mean? I have a particular history with extraction shooters, and I was quite sure that my extraction shooter journey had come to an end. You know what I mean? I played a lot of Hunt. I love Hunt so much, and you know, I pretty much figured that was my one. But after playing Marathon, and I played Marathon pretty much exclusively solo. Oh my God, man. It is such a tense experience. What Marathon really is this like cyberpunk horror AI dystopian. Like, wow, man, they really locked into something unique here. But not just with the aesthetic, but with the tone the whole game takes, with everything. You know what I mean? With the way this game is moving, because this is not just like a PvP looter shooter, right? You're also getting into PvE, and I don't just mean you're working against like the bots you'll see. You also have a ton of like story stuff going on throughout the contracts, and the story is deep and dark and worthwhile. Like, it takes a real look at humanity, and I think it said something especially today with everything that's going on, and paints a dark path of where we could we could end up. Marathon is not out of the range of possibility, man, and that's something that's super dope about it. You know what I mean? I really feel like Bungie tapped into the vein with this one. Like, the looting, you know, itself feels great once you learn, especially what crates hold what, you know, what you're looking for, what the consumables do, what the salvage does. It's a game, something that I love about games, or something that I noticed immediately when I played Marathon, when I booted up the live product. It's when I started it up, I felt like I was wading in the middle of the ocean. This is a deep game. This is a game that has so many systems, has so much going on, and it's not overly complex. Once you get it, it's sort of a simple enough loop, but it demands your attention. You know what I mean? So many games I play, you can play with a podcast on in the background, with videos, whatever, second screen, you know how that goes, but that's not this game. You have to be locked in. There's a horror element to that. You have to be focused and paying attention and looking, because if not, somebody's looking at you. You know what I mean? And I hate stealth games. I usually hate stealth in games. It's just not for me. It slows down the pace. It feels forced in a lot of aspects to me. But because this is an extraction shooter, and if you die or don't extract, you will lose all your gear. That's just it. You lost it. It's gone. And that gives things real tension. You know what I mean? I'm slipping in and out of shadows. I'm trying to take down enemies, but not too many, so you can have guards around as well. Like, man, it really is a super tight gameplay loop they've found here, with so much going on. I guess this is actually a bit of the backfire to doing this kind of live, because I feel like there's so much that I want to say about this game. But I don't just want to slam you with words either. If that makes sense. I don't want to ramble and rant, but it's the kind of game that makes you want to ramble and rant. I haven't been able to shut up about it. Oh, my poor girl, man. I have not been able to shut up about Marathon. I'm thinking about it when I'm going to work, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get back home early for it. And it's such a tense experience that, like, I might come home and only play like 4 or 5 games and then be looking like that Ben Affleck meme. And I feel satisfied, though, man. I'm like, fuck, they was out there today, boy. And you know, that's the mark of a fun game. That's the mark of a game you're really having fun with. Like, you just want to keep playing it. And it's been a while since I've gotten that straight feeling. Well, you know, Marvel Rivals really held it down for me in that sense, and I've played a lot of Marvel Rivals since then. I can see me playing a lot of Marathon, especially because I think they're going to do some really special stuff with storytelling through a multiplayer game in this. Right now, we're waiting for them to open up the Marathon shit, man. The Cryo Archives. I need to get in there, dog. And it's not just there, you know what I mean? In the levels themselves, even though I've played them all so many times, there's tons of PvE, like, objectives and stuff that I simply haven't done. You know what I mean? That's so cool to me. It's so intricate. There's so much to do, so much to consider. You got to be quiet. Noise is important. Now, that's one criticism I have. I wish the noise was a little bit, the positional audio was a little bit tighter. Like I said, I come from Hunt Showdown. That fucking audio is next gen, boy. If a motherfucker farts upstairs, I know where he's at. This one, he's somewhere generally around this corner. I gotta be careful. I definitely would love an audio update for this game. Because audio is so important. Audio is so important. And PlayStation has the Tempest engine, right? Aren't you? Returnal has an amazing sound. So, yeah, no, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all, but could be better. You know what I mean? Graphically, this game is amazing. I don't think people are mentioning it enough. You know, this is a live service product, $40. This shit has been running clean. This is a premium product. It really is. You know, no glitches, no, even day one, no server problems, no nothing, you know? Yeah, I have been loving it. I love going out. They got the contract system where you have these AI. They all have their own distinct personalities and all that. You know what I mean? Then you go and do missions for them that all are different based on the company they represent. Ambitions on Tau Ceti. Like, it's just there's a lot going on, man, and I love that. I love that there's so much to dig into with this game, and that I think that really does set it apart. I think and I've come to love the aesthetic. I have. Well, love is strong, but I'm coming to accept the aesthetic. I love the level design and that aesthetic, but not necessarily the character design. It's a lot of makeup for me. But while I'm on level design, this is one of the things that also sets games like Hunt Showdown and Marathon. In my opinion, Marathon is right in league with that, way apart. That level design is nutty. This design is so amazing. Everywhere you think you can go, you can go. The whole place is a jungle gym. But it's also like, even though it presents as super colorful and almost cartoonish, right? Like I said, the bleakness of this world stands in stark contrast. Like, what's actually going on is in such stark contrast to all the brightly lit colors. But the actual level design, that's part of the horror elements for me. You know what I mean? Just like it was in Hunt, going into these dark, dilapidated houses and stuff, things that used to be a community, used to be sawmills, used to be stuff, you know, deserted and monsters have taken over everything, you know. In the same way, these used to be research facilities and this and that. They were colonizing this planet, and something very clearly went super wrong. You know what I mean? And peeling that back and learning more about what's going on and what's happening on the actual ship. Again, they're going to drop that on us, and that's going to be so crazy. The ARG elements of everything, it's just a really unique experience in video games right now, I will say. Even though it's an extraction shooter, even though it has hero shooter elements, it all comes together to be super unique and super fun, most importantly. You know what I mean? I love getting into engagements. I love going around the map, seeing what there is to see, finding little vents, going underground and finding, damn, you guys made like a whole little like garden down here. Like they really, it's super clear that the Bungie developers love Marathon. You don't make a game like this if you don't love it. The people who are making this game fuck with this game, and I fuck with them for that. You know what I mean? This is not a paint by numbers type thing, which makes it even crazier about the anti-real, I think her name is anti-real, like, you know, stealing shit, because it's so clear that, like, this is a passionate project. You can't make this without some passion. It's really unique, man, and fun. It plays well. And, you know, of course, they have had the talking point of the player count numbers, and honestly, this is where I worry. I do. As somebody who enjoyed Concord in a lot of the same ways I feel like I enjoy Marathon, for its uniqueness, for its gunplay, for its niche, for its nicheness. You know what I mean? This isn't a game that was ever going to compete with like Fortnite. This isn't a game that was ever going to compete with Apex Legends and the like. If you look at it in its realm, it's within context, it's doing decently. You know what I mean? But the question is, did Sony pay $3.5 billion or whatever for decently, for a niche game? They need to go do Destiny 3. That's just a fact. I'm not denying that. I love Marathon, but Bungie needs to go do Destiny 3. How much love does Marathon get in that world? That is a question. That's a valid question. It is. But I do think that people are talking about it as if nobody's playing Marathon, when if you look at it, that's simply not the case. So I at least had to address that real quick. But I just think there's so much more to talk about with this game, with how fun it is, how much they're doing, and ultimately how well they executed. So, too long, did not watch. Gunplay is amazing. Level design and mission design has felt so fun, so fresh, so deep. Aesthetic is super unique. In the PvE story elements, it's something that I'm falling in love with, and just want to know more about. I'm existing in this game trying to find out what the fuck is going on, and that's been a super cool mystery to try to unravel in a multiplayer focused, you know what I mean, game. I love the cyberpunk horror aspects of it. I love a horror game, and this has a lot of the tenseness in level design, finesse of a great horror game. It really does. And man, I love Marathon for it. So I think that's gonna do it for me, man. I am rambling. Instead, I'm gonna get up there and play a little bit of Marathon. But I just wanted to put the word out there, man. I love this game. And I'm going to try to do some more stuff like this. Just talking about general games I play, general games that I fuck with, that I hope you will one day fuck with. So that is going to do it for me, dog. I am Preacher. And I do so hope to see you right back here on the pews.